Fans were left in absolute shock last night when R&B icon Brandy was suddenly rushed to the hospital mid-performance. The lights dimmed, the music stopped, and Monica was left standing alone on stage, visibly shaken. What really happened backstage? Was this just exhaustion, or something far more serious than her team wants you to know? Because the details that are now emerging will leave you speechless. It all began as an unforgettable night of music and nostalgia, a moment fans had waited years for. The stage lights glowed in deep purple and gold. The sound was perfect. Thousands of people screamed with excitement as Brandy and Monica walked out together. Two legends side by side. For the first half of the show, everything was flawless. Brandy's voice soared through the arena, strong and soulful. She smiled at Monica. Monica smiled back. It was pure magic. But then, something changed. First, it was subtle. Some fans noticed Brandy holding her microphone a little lower, taking deeper breaths between lines. She seemed slightly off balance, almost struggling to catch her breath. At first, everyone thought it was just part of the performance. But seconds later, her body language told a different story. Her shoulders slumped, her voice cracked, and her hand pressed over her chest. Musicians on stage began exchanging uneasy looks. You could feel the tension. Then suddenly, Brandy took a step backward. Monica, standing a few feet away, immediately noticed. She walked closer, whispering something we couldn't hear. Brandy tried to push through the song, but her voice grew weak. The band hesitated, unsure what to do. Then silence. The music faded. The lights dimmed. And Brandy collapsed into the arms of a stage crew member. The audience gasped. Some thought it was a dramatic pause. Others instantly realized something was terribly wrong. The stage manager ran forward, signaling to cut the show. Emergency medical staff rushed from both sides, surrounding Brandy. Monica stood frozen, her hand covering her mouth. The look on her face said everything. Within seconds, Brandy was escorted off stage. Pale, trembling, barely able to stand. Monica followed, calling her name. The audience sat in total silence. Then Monica returned briefly, trying to steady her voice. "There's been an unexpected medical situation," she told the crowd. "Please keep Brandy in your prayers. We'll update you soon." The audience erupted into applause, supportive but fearful. Phones lit up. Within minutes, the moment was everywhere online. Clips of the show flooded Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Did Brandy just faint? What happened to Brandy? Theories spread like wildfire. Backstage, chaos unfolded. Brandy sat on a stretcher, struggling to breathe, her face pale. Medics placed an oxygen mask over her mouth as her team stood by in tears. Someone reportedly shouted, "Her blood pressure's unstable. Get her to the hospital now." Monica rushed back in, holding Brandy's hand. Brandy could barely speak, whispering, "I just need a minute." But her pulse told a different story. Moments later, she was wheeled toward an ambulance waiting outside. Her manager followed, visibly shaken. As the ambulance doors closed, Monica stood in the doorway, tears in her eyes, whispering, "Please God, not her." What caused Brandy's collapse? Was it exhaustion, stress, or something far more serious than anyone realized? Because what insiders have now revealed paints a picture of quiet struggles that had been building for weeks, maybe even months. By the time Brandy arrived at the hospital, the night's energy had completely shifted. What began as a celebration of music had turned into a desperate race for answers. Inside the emergency room, doctors moved quickly, checking her pulse, monitoring her oxygen, and attaching sensors to her chest. According to witnesses, Brandy looked dazed but conscious, whispering faintly that she just couldn't breathe. Monica arrived minutes later, still wearing her stage outfit. She looked terrified but calm, staying close, asking, "Is she okay? What's happening?" No one had answers yet. Doctors and nurses spoke in quiet, urgent tones. Brandy's blood pressure was reportedly dangerously low. Her hands were trembling. Tests began immediately, Blood work, heart scans, hydration levels. One nurse was overheard saying, "She's extremely dehydrated. It's exhaustion, but it's serious." Meanwhile, outside the hospital, news spread like wildfire. Fans began gathering near the entrance. Some were crying. Others were praying. Hashtags like #PrayForBrandy and #BrandyHospitalized started trending within an hour. The music world had stopped to wait for one thing, a sign that Brandy was okay. Inside, Monica sat quietly beside Brandy's family in the waiting room. Brandy's mother was seen praying softly, her hands clasped tightly together. Monica whispered, "She's strong. She's going to be fine." But deep down, even she wasn't sure. After what felt like forever, the doctor finally stepped in. His expression was serious but calm. "She's stable," he said. "But she's been pushing her body too far. Severe exhaustion, dehydration, and stress. She needs complete rest. No travel, no shows." Brandy's team broke down in tears of relief. But the doctor's warning was clear. If she doesn't slow down, this will happen again. Hours later, Brandy regained full consciousness. Her mother held her hand. Monica sat beside her, eyes full of emotion. Brandy looked around the hospital room and whispered, "I didn't want to let anyone down." That one sentence said everything. For months, Brandy had been juggling rehearsals, interviews, travel, and the pressure of perfection. She'd ignored the warning signs, the fatigue, dizziness, chest tightness, all to keep performing for her fans. One insider revealed that Brandy's doctors had already advised her to rest earlier this year. But she refused to cancel any shows, saying, "People came to see me. I can't disappoint them." Her body had finally given out. Later that morning, Brandy's management team met inside the hospital to make a difficult decision. Should they continue the tour once she recovered, or stop everything? As they debated, her manager's phone buzzed. He looked at the message and said quietly, "You're not going to believe who just reached out." It was from a close friend and fellow artist, someone Brandy deeply respects. The message was short but powerful. "Protect her. Cancel everything. No show is worth her life." The room fell silent. And in that moment, everyone knew what needed to be done. Her team agreed to cancel all upcoming performances, postpone interviews, and release a public statement focusing only on Brandy's health. That statement went out hours later. Brandy experienced a medical emergency related to exhaustion and is now recovering under doctor supervision. She thanks everyone for their love and asks for privacy. Outside the hospital, hundreds of fans gathered, holding posters and candles. Many prayed, others sang softly, their voices blending in harmony for the woman whose voice had touched millions. Inside, Brandy smiled weakly as Monica read fan messages aloud to her. Tears filled her eyes as she realized how many people were praying for her. For years, Brandy had been known as the vocal Bible. But tonight reminded everyone that even icons are human. They need rest. They need care. They need space to breathe. And perhaps the most emotional moment came when Brandy whispered to Monica, "Thank you for staying." Monica replied, "Always. You're not alone." By morning, doctors confirmed she was stable but would need weeks, maybe months, to recover fully. There would be no tour for now. No appearances. Only healing. As she looked out the hospital window, sunlight breaking through the glass, Brandy smiled faintly. She finally understood what her body had been trying to tell her all along. Sometimes strength isn't pushing through. Sometimes it's knowing when to stop.